Hi, my name is Caleb Lindsay. Today's date is January 17th, 2026, and this is going to be my video submission for Module 1 of FTH 202. Today I'm going to be manipulating this Taurus 856, and before we begin, I'm going to verify that it is empty, so nothing in our cylinder. I don't know how to get that in the picture. There we go. Nothing in the chamber. We are clear, and I'll just leave that just like so. Our very first question on here is, what were some deficiencies in the past revolver designs that led to improvements in modern designs? And there's a bunch. There's a whole lot. The first one that I see right off the bat is in early designs of the revolver style pistol. It was just like an underframe kind of thing. Okay? We didn't have this top section right here, which adds support to the firearm and completely encloses our cylinder. Okay? So that is an improvement. Another improvement right off the top of my head is when you're manipulating the actual action of the firearm. Okay, so right inside of here you got like this little silver bar. That is our trigger bar. Okay, so what that does is it basically prevents you from dropping the hammer onto the firing pin unintentionally. Okay, there's more to it than that. That was described in this week's lecture for FTH. I believe it's FTH 202. But that's essentially what it is. Past firearms didn't have that. Ruger came up with that back in like the 70s, and it's kind of been implemented in everything since then. Another thing, right off the bat, this one has a little fixed snub-nosed 2-inch barrel on it, right? So one of the things in the past was, I can't remember exactly which firearm it is off the top of my head. We covered it in the lecture, where you actually had to disassemble a lot of the firearm and take the barrel off of the firearm to reload it. That's pre-cartridge, okay? So, but there have been many improvements in these firearms over the years. It's an old design, but we can still keep making it better. So we kind of covered both parts 1 and 2 of our assignment already, just talking about deficiencies and then what we've done in the past to kind of correct the deficiencies. So the third part of this assignment asks, are there any deficiencies in today's revolver designs, and how might a gunsmith address those deficiencies? So I'm not super well versed in revolvers. I'm still learning. But one thing that's kind of special about revolvers is the double single action that you can kind of work through. Okay, so single action would be you have to manipulate the hammer to fire the weapon, right? And a double action is you're going to be able to squeeze the trigger and see how it is manipulating the hammer for you to fire that cartridge. One thing I wouldn't really call it maybe a deficiency. It's just how the firearm operates. Would be in double action. When you're squeezing that trigger, you have a lot. Your pull weight on that is very high compared to something that I work on a lot of 1911s right now. I do a lot of trigger work on those 1911s, and I can bring down that weight to I bring it down to about 3 pounds is where I like it. This I don't even know if my pull gauge is going to measure that. That's probably beyond 14 pounds. So one thing that you could do is trigger work on this to try to figure out how to bring down that trigger pull weight on the double action part of this. So that's about all I got to say this week. That should take up my time. I'm excited to be in this class. It's going to be fun. Thank you.